What's going on, guys? I'm Jaye Black. I want to talk about this particular entitled wife. She is actually a housewife of her step grandfather. This is the truth. And apparently, not only are they sleeping in separate bedrooms, but she is not having relations with him whatsoever. All right. And also, I'm going to speak to other issue with her. This woman clearly has identity issues, and I'm going to speak about it a little bit later, but this woman clearly hates herself. When people talk about how melanated men don't like themselves, that's why they date lighter skinned women. Well, this is a woman who is outwardly saying, I'm with who I'm with because they are lighter skinned. But you won't hear any fake outrage because she's a female, not a dude. You know, women can make rules for themselves, but for everybody else, we're supposed to follow a certain guideline, right? Now, according to this Page 6 article, it says Mary Cosby didn't have to marry her grandfather at all. After all, the first lady of the Faith Temple Pentecostal Church claimed on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City that her late grandmother told her it was necessary for her to marry her step granddaddy, saying in one episode, I did marry him. I didn't want to. That's weird to me. But my grandmother really did want me to. So I obeyed her. I trusted every word. Now, this is troubling because what you will hear from a lot of women these days is that men are toxic, that men have always been toxic, that men were forcing women to do things. But here you have this woman who claims her grandmother specifically told her to do something and she obeyed, right? No man pushed her into doing anything. It would, according to her, it was her grandmother's request. But she told a different story at the reunion Wednesday, admitting there was no proof the request was her late grandmother Rosemary Redmond Cosby's last wish. No, there's no receipts, she told Andy Cohen when asked. Well, my grandmother told me for herself that she wanted me to take her place, she explained, adding that the couple prayed for 2 years on their decision to get married. You know, you got married because you wanted to be. You want to be the first lady of that church. And these are religious people. So basically, Robert Sr., who's 20 years younger than my grandmother, she added, my grandmother felt like she robbed his youth, and so she said, if something ever happens, I want you to marry one of my girls because I know they'll be loyal to you and treat you good like you treated me. Wow. Now, I don't really watch Housewives of Salt Lake City. I have watched here and there years ago the Real Housewives show, but that's usually because I was going to be doing some commentary, so I would check it out because you would always see these topics on news blogs, so I would always check it out, see what's going on. But I didn't know they had a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, right? And to me, this woman is saying that she did not want that position. She did not want to marry her step granddaddy, but she did anyway because her grandmother felt like she had robbed his youth, that he spent his life trying to make her happy. So instead of letting that man go free, she said, no, go get with one of my girls. Do you know how weird this family is? And it's all coming from the grandmammy. According to Mary Cosby. Cosby later said that she thinks she's in love with her husband and that her marriage is still one of arrangement. She was previously married, having wed at 19. She added that she and Robert Sr. have not been physical in the last few years and do not sleep in the same bed, noting that marriages are hard, but hers is beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful because you get all the benefits of being in marriage, but you don't have to sleep with the guy. You know, you don't have to sleep with him. You get all the benefits of being with him, but you don't have to give him. Trust me. Let me tell y'all this. She's sleeping with somebody else. Trust and believe that. I did the video about Larry King and his 22-year marriage. He married a younger woman, and at some point, she started to sleep with another man who was younger than Larry in Larry's bed. Okay, we are talking about a rich, successful man. But she was only with him for his money. And when she met somebody else, she started sleeping with him. And not only just sleeping with him, but sleeping with this other guy in Larry's bed. That's why Larry wrote out the will. But here you have a woman who's saying that her marriage is beautiful. Your marriage is beautiful, but you have no intimacy whatsoever. So how is it beautiful? You're with a guy who is giving you the lifestyle that you have. So you're just able to do what you want to do. I guarantee you, if men that she's attracted to are hitting her up, she's not rebuffing those because she has absolutely no respect for her current husband. She don't respect him. She's making it seem like she did a duty by getting into a relationship with the guy, marrying the guy. But have you? It seemed to me you did this because you wanted to be in a relationship with him. You wanted to be the first lady of the Pentecostal church. Let's see. You can't go through a marriage for 22 years and be happy, she said through tears. Like every single Chanel, he's bought it for me. And I haven't had to buy myself anything. All my designer things, Robert Sr. has gotten them for me. We're happy, and you can't say or do anything to take the happiness away from me because it's hard to get. It's very hard to find. And if you can find that in a man, it doesn't matter where he came from. So a guy who basically has put his life on hold to make you happy, because first he was making your grandmother happy. So now because he is spending his life making you happy, that makes you happy. You're a selfish woman. You're a selfish woman. You're a selfish, self-hating woman. Let's get to the self-hating part. And this is another article. Mary Crosby denies saying that she is afraid of melanated men at 7-Eleven. Mary Crosby got grilled on the Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. The First Lady of the Faith Temple Pentecostal Church denied saying that she was afraid of melanated men hanging out at the 7-Eleven in the past. I said I had a fear of when guys are standing out in front of a convenience store, she began, before Andy Cohen cut her off by asking black guys. He did that on purpose, I believe. But maybe there was something deeper there. Maybe there was something deeper there. Who knows? Cosby answered by saying, "I'm black. My son is black." Then she accused co-star Jen Shaw of twisting her words. At which point, Cohen asked, "You have a fear of men standing in front of convenience stores?" And Cosby nodded. When Cohen brought up that there are footage of Cosby admitting that she made the comment at a luncheon, Cosby continued to deny it. Meredith then came to her defense, saying she believed that Cosby meant that she was afraid of sketchy people, not men of color. My taste of melanated guys, that's not my taste, Cosby said, before Cohen asked, "Your taste is not black guys?" Seemingly to make sure he heard her correctly. No, she responded, saying she is more attracted to lighter-skinned men. When Cohen pointed out that her husband, Robert Sr., is black, she confusingly commented that he is white, before clarifying that he is lighter rather than mixed, and going on to deny that she is a discriminist. Cosby concluded the segment by telling Cohen, "I need to improve on the way I convey things, the way I say things. I come across as offensive. I think all colors of black are beautiful, and I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of my culture. No, you're not. No, you're not. You got caught up. You know what you are. See, there's a lot of women like this. I bet you if you go on her social media, I haven't gone on her social media. Maybe after I record this, I'll go on social media. I bet you if you go on her social media, she's on here talking about BLM. She's talking about, discrimination, all this, not all the time, but maybe here and there. She's pointed that out, right? She's been a part of discussions, but she's fake. Like most of these elitists, because she considers herself to be a elitist. They can get on social media and talk about what Caucasian people are doing, but they act just like the same people that they condemned. This is a woman who's the first lady of a church, but she seems to not only be entitled to be a spoiled wife, an opportunist, and somebody that has something against darker hued men. And by the way, a lot of darker hued men are not going to make a ton of videos talking about this. I'm only pointing this out because there's this thing where you have these women getting on social media talking about how we are discriminating against them because of their skin tone. When they do it themselves, they discriminate against themselves, which is what they do. So I just want to point this out. This woman is clearly somebody who doesn't understand who she is. I mean, look, she tries to look as Caucasian as possible. She basically said that she has no interest in dealing with darker hued black men, which is fine. That's her choice. But when somebody calls you out of your name, don't come running to black people talking about, oh, they don't like me because I'm like, well, you just basically said, not only do you not like sketchy black people, but you don't like darker hued people. And you're trying your hardest to be Becky. And for you to be as old as you are, to say that you still have things to work on in the way that you speak about people, especially melanated men, lets me know you have absolutely no respect for melanated men. So